Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our webinar series. I'm Tasha Burkbeard,
Hello, I'm Rebecca Smekla.
and we're here today to talk to you about advanced Google Docs. Just a couple of housekeeping things if you're new to our webinars. The chat is on the right side of the screen. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. We do have team members moderating the chat, and you'll know that they're team members because they have a little wrench by their name, and they will be answering all of your questions and periodically throwing some questions our way so that we can answer them. There's about a 20-second delay between our live webinar and what you put into the chat. So please feel free to jump in and ask questions. Everything is being recorded, and so you can find the recordings on our YouTube channel, which you can subscribe right down below, hitting that red subscribe button. Or you can go to our website, edtechtraining.palmbeachschools.org, edtechtraining.palmbeachschools.org. And we have our videos from all of our webinars there, as well as any materials, any links, any handouts, all of the live stream resources you'll find on our website. So today we're going to be talking about Google Docs. We were here, Rebecca and I, before talking about, as a matter of fact, all the weeks of everything's blended in together. It was this week. We talked about beginning Google Docs. We're going to go back to talk about some more details of Google Docs and how you can use it in the classroom with your students. It is a fantastic program for collaboration, and some of the benefits that we talked about, the ability to share and really determine how you want your documents shared, the fact that you can edit in real time, the comment and suggested edits feature is very, very, very helpful. How you can convert any of your files into Google, and everything is automatically saved. Your images being automatically Creative Commons images that you can get from the Explore feature. A lot of those things we're going to go in depth when we go live. Just a reminder of the general navigation of Google Doc and the sharing permissions. We still get a lot of questions about the sharing permissions. Just remember, if you have edit access, then you have the ability to also share and add comments and edit directly into the document. But if you give someone just comment access, then they can only comment. They can't do anything else there. And if you have view only, if you want a copy of that document, you'll actually have to make a copy. And Rebecca is going to be showing us how to force a copy and how to make a copy. So some of the things that we're going to talk about today in advance is actually showing you the template gallery, why you would email as an attachment or email collaborators. We're going to talk about the paint format tool and page setup, creating a table of contents or a document outline, the difference between commenting and suggested mode, what you can see in the activity dashboard, inserting charts and special characters and equations, forcing a copy, like I mentioned, the integration with Keep. A lot of us use Google Keep, which is a note-taking application, and it's found in Google Docs and Google Slides and your email. So Google Keep is something that we're going to introduce you to from the Google Docs perspective. Talk a little bit about how to get add-ons for your Google Docs just to enhance the functionality of Google Docs, and then the integration with Google Classroom. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and go live and start us off, and then Rebecca's going to jump in. I have here just a simple, no, well, it's actually not a simple Google Doc, but this is a pretty comprehensive Google Doc. This is a real doc that we use for the tech conference, our steering committee. And I actually want to show you, I'm going to back up because I'm going to show you that from Google Docs, you can create a new document, or I want to show you this template gallery here. Now there's two different tabs. By default, it shows what the Palm Beach Palm Beach County Template Gallery. We don't have any templates available there. So you would just go to General. And as you can see, there are a lot of different templates. I know I came from a secondary environment, and we use like the MLA report template and APA. We use those a lot. So you could actually open up one of these and start it from and have the correct formatting there. We have letters and resumes. So don't underestimate the template gallery, because there's a lot of things there that you can find beneficial. I'm going to show you also email as attachment and emailing collaborators. Let's see what this attachment looks like. This is if you needed to send an email and send your Google Doc as a PDF to somebody. Let's say you wanted to send them a PDF version, or if they needed to have a Microsoft Word version. If you email this as an attachment versus sharing the document, this is a way that they can get it as a different format. The other thing that I want to show is emailing collaborators. So let's say you made changes in the document and you wanted everybody to know about those changes. You could send a quick message to all or some of the people who are also have edit access in this document. You have the option to adding a message, sending a copy to yourself. But again, this is a way to let people know that there were some changes and edits in the document. So next, Rebecca's going to show us, she's going to hop on and show us about the paint format and page setup and document outline.
All right, thanks, Tasha. So I'm still in the same document that Tasha was just in, and you can see that there's a lot of different font styles. There's a lot of different colors. There's some highlighting going on. So one way that you can take the text that you currently have and match the format of another set of text is by using the paint feature. So for example, if I needed this bigger font, right? This executive font, which is an Arial and it's 26. I want it to be that big. Then I can go over here and highlight on my paintbrush. And that's what that little icon looks like right there. And then I can go to any of the text that I want to be that same size. Oh, I got to click the paintbrush first. That helps. All right, so highlight any that you want. Click the paintbrush. And then go and put anything else that you want to match that exact formatting. So that's a really beneficial way to match the formatting that you have in a document. I'm going to exit that out and show you how to do that one more time. And I can just do it in anywhere, right? So I only took the 2 letters. I clicked the paintbrush. And now I'm just going to do this whole bullet, and it's going to put it in the same exact formatting that I had up here, which was the times 19. Now I have down here, and I also have the times 19. So that's a great way to make sure your formatting is exactly the way you want it.
Rebecca, just going to hop in real quick. Can you change your zoom to 150 or 125 again on that document?
Absolutely.
Just so it's a little easier to read.
Right. Well, with my next thing, and I'm not sure if this will fit, we'll make sure, I'll try. We'll take a look at it, but we're going to talk about the page setup. So if you're in File and you scroll down to Page Setup, you have some options here that are often overlooked in a Google Doc. You can turn it to a landscape if you want. You can make it a paper size, but look at all these other options you have. You can make it tabloid, legal, statement, executive, and so on. You can also change your margins in Page Setup, and you can also change your color. A lot of people weren't aware that you can change the background of a doc. So now if I was doing like a newsletter for my students and I wanted it to have a pop of color with the background, I have this nice, calm, relaxing blue. I have that option in the page setup. Okay, the next thing is the document outline. And the reason that we chose this document is because this document has already been set up, and it's a really quick way to show you how this works. You may not have ever noticed this before, but if you look to the left, you're going to see this little icon that's kind of hidden over here, but this goes to show you your document outline. So if I click that, this is really, really helpful when you're working with long documents. So I can just go and click right into this section, and it's going to take me all the way down, right? So I'm already on page 3. I can scroll down. Now I'm on page 5, and this is a great way to navigate a very large document. So if we're now talking about leadership, we can just jump right back into that section just by using our document outline. Now the question is, how do you make a document outline, right? So if I click over here into my text, you can see that this is a title in my styles. You might not have ever noticed this before because it's going to default to normal text, right? Because that's what most of us start writing in. But there's the options to do titles and subtitles and different headings. And anytime you make text one of these different styles, it's going to show up in your document outline. So if I click into my conference information, you can see that that changed to heading 4. And I have it right here. So if you want to create a document outline for some of your longer documents, this is a great way too to help your students navigate a document. If they need to be in section 3, you can easily say, open up your document outline and head down to the section on security. And again, that is in your toolbar up at the top in styles. So you would just need to change your text into one of these different styles. And you can type directly in it just by clicking into it, changing it to a subtitle, and that will change it in the outline as well. All right, Tasha, I'm turning it back over to you for suggestion mode.
All right, thank you. All right, so there's a couple of things that I want to just clarify when you're talking about commenting. First of all, there's a lot of different ways that you can comment. You can simply highlight a text and you see the comment icon shows up here. So go ahead and put whatever it is that you want to put in. And if you want to direct it to a person, then you put a plus sign. And then I can just start typing in and Rebecca's name will pop up and I can assign a particular comment to her. Nothing has really changed. I'm just simply saying, you know, is agenda the right word, or just whatever it is that you want to say about the text that's already on that page. So again, you can highlight and it'll pop up, or it's right here on the toolbar where you can add a comment. But let's say you wanted to suggest a particular edit and the person who you are directing that comment to can either accept or reject it. So I'm going to highlight this here, and up in the corner where you see the editing mode, there's a couple of different things that you can do. Your edit can come just you can edit it directly, or you can suggest an edit. So I'm going to suggest here to, can you please find a time, you know. So I did that just so that you can see what happens. In green, you see the green line at the top and the green line at the bottom. Basically, you're suggesting to whoever is editing this document, add the words, can you please take out to, and if you see here on the right, it basically narrates what you said. Replace the T with can you please, delete the O. And the person who is editing this document has the option to accept it, the suggestion. So if I accept the suggestion, it's going to automatically put it into the document. Or you can reject it. And if you reject it, then you see that little line that the strike through is it has disappeared, and that little random O just stays there. So once again, I'm still in suggesting mode. So I want to suggest that you get rid of this O. When you resolve it, then it goes away. Why is this handy? You can always see in version history, when you go back to version history, you can always see what has happened, but sometimes because a lot of us are working in the document together, collaborating in real time, the suggested edits actually work out to be very beneficial because you can correct grammar, you can add things, you can take away things, you can anybody who is doing the edit can accept or reject those suggestions, and it becomes a true collaborative document with everyone working together. Along with being able to suggest edits, and I'm going to turn this back to just editing mode, is this activity dashboard here. With this, all editors can see the history for this file. So the activity dashboard, that's this little arrow pointing upward. And let me just highlight it so that you can see it, the little arrow pointing upward. Clicking on the activity dashboard will show you all the people who this document is shared with, when they last viewed it, you know, if there were any trends, any commenting trends, how many comments were made and how many replies were made. This is an excellent way to really pay attention to your documents, especially if you have shared this document with a lot of people and you guys are working together. The sharing history is also very important because you can see who has shared this document. It gives you a little bit more ability to manage that in your settings. And also the privacy settings. These are things that I highly recommend that you take a look at in your document. When I went to that manage settings for sharing, I always like to look at the advanced view, because by looking at the advanced view, you can definitely see who is on this document and what type of edit access they have. And you can change an individual's edit access. Or another thing that you can do is set an expiration date. So let's say I wanted Kim to only have access for about 30 days. I could set this up. You could only have access, and then after the 30 days, wouldn't have access to this document. So those are things that you can see to really take control of your document. The suggested edit, I just lost the word, but the activity dashboard, and then also the version history. So I'm going to give it back to Rebecca so she can show about inserting charts and special characters, equations, and also forcing a copy.
All right, thanks, Tasha. I'm going to use my handy dandy document outline to get to the bottom of this document so I can demo inserting. So again, you're going to go up to the top to your toolbar. I'm going to click the insert button. I'm going to get some options. I'm going to do a chart. Notice you can do a bar chart, a column chart, a line chart, a pie chart, and you can also import charts from Google Sheets, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to do a simple bar chart right now. You'll notice it says inserting, and then once it's in there, you click into it, and down with 3 dots at the bottom, you can get some of these image options to size and rotate, make adjustments, and then up here at the top, I can link a source in here as well, so I can go in and I can change my charts, and that's really fun. But the one that I love the most, and a lot of people don't know about this one, is if you do insert special character. Now, you know, there's a lot of times there's a character that you could draw, but you don't know what it's called or how to say it, or how to get it in your document. So like, let's say I come over here and I start drawing. Notice how it's giving me some choices already. And now I have the Greek small letters for pi. So, you know, I'm looking at all these different options that you can get. And then if that's not the one you wanted, maybe you're not a good artist, you can reset it. And you can start drawing another line to see what you get. Okay, now I have the 3 lines like the hamburger that we always have more choices with. and I can insert those special characters into my document, which is really, really beneficial. And it'll start just giving you all kinds of, different choices: large blue circle, red circle, the zero, Latin letters. So I always like to show how to insert special characters. I think that can be really beneficial for when you're creating documents. Okay, let's get rid of that. And what else am I supposed to show? Equations. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. I'm not a math person, so don't judge me. But I am going to show you how you can put some equations in there straight from your insert/equation. So now that loads, and I can do A plus B equals, not that, equals 1/4. Ta-da! There's my equation. Return. And you can do all kinds of fun stuff with that if you are a math person. It gives you, notice up here, there's my different types of equations, relations. So I could do math operations. So I could put in all of these things I don't know how to do, and that would totally embarrass me right now. But I could do, 1/4. I did that wrong. So there's my 1/4, and then I could do times, and then go back into my other fraction to get some different math equations going on. So those are ways to insert special characters that you might not have been aware that you could get in Google Docs. So now I'm going to show you how to do a force copy. So let's say you have this wonderful template and you want to share it with your students, but you want them each to have their own copy. Let's say it's a spreadsheet and you want them to be able to practice different types of formulas on it, but you don't want them messing with your document. So if you look in the URL right here at the top, you're going to see at the very end of this URL the word edit, EDIT. If you take that off and you add the word copy, I'm going to just demo this for you. And you put that in the URL and then jump out of it and jump back in and copy it. Go to a new tab, and this would be the link that you would give your friends who you wanted to copy, or your students, and you post that right in there. And now they're going to have to be forced to make their own copy of your document. So instead of you sharing it with them as view only and then making a copy, if you give them a link like this, it forces a copy. So you're going to see this a lot with education out there, where they are giving you resources, but they want you to make your own copy. So that's how they did it, in case you were wondering. You just change that edit to copy and it forces a copy. Oh, what am I doing? All right, Tasha, I think you were going to cover integration.
Okay, yes. I love that force copy. Is so powerful, because you can assure that everybody is just getting a copy of your document. If for whatever reason you had a document that was view only and you had view only access, you could also make a copy here from that, and then you would have your own copy of that document. Sometimes we find templates that we like that it's view only. So if I make a copy, then I'll have a copy of that Google Doc myself. But what I want to show now is one of our favorite things is Google Keep. And if you're not familiar with Google Keep, you can get to Google Keep, keep.google.com, or you can also get to it from your app selector. And Google Keep is a very robust online note-taking application. And you can use it on any device. If you're on a mobile device, you would get the mobile app, either Android or iOS. But you'll notice on Google Keep, I'm just going to slide over my window here just so you can see behind here. Here it is again. It shows up in your email. It shows up in your Google Docs. It just kind of shows up everywhere. And I believe it's also within the tools when you do Google Slides. If you look under tools, you'll see Save to Keep as well. But what is it? I did this on purpose because this is this is Lucky, and I had a picture of Lucky in my Google Keep. It was really just a bunch of notes here at first, so I purposely went down to this one. But basically, it's a note-taking application. And if I were to click on this little icon right here, it would take me to the actual application, Google Keep. But when you're in your Google Docs, it's like a little mini application, and anything that is in your Google Docs, you can basically drag it on over and put it into your document. So with this being an image, I dragged Lucky on over here and put him into the Google Doc that we were already working with. If I had a note here, I could drag that note on over as well. And this note, of course, there. You can drag, well, that was another image from a note that you can drag it in. So one idea for application, Google Keep is collaborative. So students can work on a Google Keep together to take research notes or jot down notes. And if they're working together in the document, they can simply drag all of their notes onto the document to create whatever it is that they're creating. So we've seen this work in Google Slides. You can have students each have a portion of something that they're researching, and they take their collaborative notes in Google Keep, and then they move those notes into whatever the document is that they're working, either Google Slides or Google Docs. So I do encourage you to take a look at Google Keep. And don't forget that Google's Learn by Product is very, very, very good for getting an idea of how to use these applications. So if you just Googled Learn by Product, Google Keep, you'll find a little bit more information about how to use that. The other integration that we wanted to show was with Classroom. And so I just went to classroom.google.com because I didn't have my district portal up. But Dana showed us in Classroom and in classwork. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but when you do an assignment, you can create your Google Doc just from here, or you can add your Google Doc. So if I went to add this, because we were just recently working on that tech conference, it would show up right here, and I can just add that as an assignment. So that's a really good way to see how all of Google's tools work together. And then the last thing that Rebecca's going to show is Addon. What is it, and how would you get it?
Thank you. So add-ons and extensions, you may have heard of those. Those are fun little programs that can boost up the application that you're using. So you might have noticed that inside Google Docs, you have an add-ons button. And I have a few installed. Easy Accents, this allows you to put accents on letters. Creating a bibliography, this comes in very handy when you're writing a paper. Different types of icons that you can put into your your document, excuse me. Lucid Chart, this creates really, really cool charts and diagrams. Pixabay has free images that are really high resolution. Story Speaker, this is one that actually integrates with the Google Home. It's kind of interesting. A different translator, word cloud generator, WriteQ. These are all examples of add-ons that you can add. I'm not suggesting that you, copy down this list and go to, get every one of these. These are just some of the few that I have added on. But you can click Get Add-ons, and that will take you out to the marketplace and allow you to look, and it'll show you the ones that I've installed. So you might find some here that could be very beneficial to you, maybe a highlight tool. And there are some ratings here. So, take them and look at them, make sure that you're okay with the permissions that are going to, they're going to ask you about. But there are some other options to make Google Docs a little bit more fun. So I'm going to click out of that. And then I also wanted to show that you can go to the Chrome Web Store. I'm going to have a little favicon shortcut here. And you can look up extensions for Google Docs. There's an extension called Draftback that I've used before, which could come in really handy for you. Basically, what it does is it makes a video of the revision history. So if your students are writing papers and you have this on there and it's been shared with you, then you can actually see their writing and how long it took, and you can actually make the speed go really, you can see it on live time, or you can make it go really fast. So you can actually see what their revision history is in real video time. But there's a ton of different extensions that you can use to boost Google Docs. We don't have a long list of those today. We are putting together a webinar on extensions, Chrome extensions, very soon. So we'll hope to add some for Google Docs as well. If you have any that you use currently, please post them in the chat so you can share with others. But that concludes my part of this session.
So I just wanted to show you guys what you'll see on our website under the additional resources. I did mention that Learn by Product, Google Training Center, the link is here. There's one for Google Docs. You also can find the one for Google Keep on there. The Google Training Center is very, very, very key. The majority of all the information that, well, not the majority, all the information that we get, that we share with you, we get from Google, because we want to make sure that it's the most up-to-date and current and correct information that we're sharing on our webinars. So everything we do, we source it from the actual Google Training Center. I'll open it up right now to see if there's any questions that weren't answered in the chat that you would need for us to answer. I also want to point out that this bit.ly stream topics down here, we created this so that you can have an opportunity to tell us what you want to hear in the stream topics. We've been sort of covering all the bases with EdTech, but we want to get more into also the actual integration and application of this in this distance learning environment. So if you have any topics that you want us to focus on, please let us know here. And then also, while we're waiting to see if there are any questions, we have created a form for you to request assistance. So if there's anything that you need in terms of technology integration, any of the applications that we talked about, please know that we are monitoring this form, and also our smart trainers are here. We're fortunate to have them monitoring the form as well. So if you have any questions about SLSO, how you can actually use it with the whiteboarding feature and with annotating over PDFs in SLSO, please, please, please use that form. Let us know, and we will be able to answer. So Denise has a question about add-ons and thinking about translation. Is there a way for the whole Google Classroom to be translated, or each application?
Yeah, I think they're trying to basically translate everything at once. And that's a hard one. I know. I know it's a hard one to throw out there.
Question, Denise, because I think it would have to be. On a.
At the computer level, it needs to. The language of the computer almost needs to be
right.
Changed from English to whatever country it is.
Yeah, when I worked in the library at Park Vista, we did have several times that the actual Chrome browser was changed to a different language, the actual browser. But I didn't investigate further to see whether or not everything in the applications would be changed. But I know that there's a way to change the language in the Chrome browser.
Yeah, part of the problem is that a lot of the things are you'll highlight and then it'll translate that only little specific area. It's a tougher one. I want to bring it up just to know that it is something that we do struggle with in the district because of all the languages we have. So,
and actually, if I can show you this real quick, that's a really, really, really good question. And in Google Classroom, I'm going to highlight this so that you can see, but at the very, very, very bottom, there's this little question mark. And this question mark shows up throughout a lot of the applications. And in it, you see what's new, report an issue, or request a feature. I do know that Google listens to our district. We're a big Google district. We have a lot of people who are certified. So request a feature. I really think that if you see something that is a need, go ahead and request it.
Yeah. Another quick question on, can you show how to get back to the templates in Google Docs? How she got to the template chooser?
Sure. So I'm going to just go to docs.new. And so I have a blank document here. But under File and New, from a template will take you to those templates. That's one way to do it. Okay, that's one way to do it under General. Another way is if I simply went to docs.google.com, that's going to take you to your Google Docs dashboard. And here's the template gallery here. So once again, you're at the template gallery so that you can see some of these templates.
And the third way would just be through the app selector.
The third way exactly would be through your app selector, which you see that here. And going to Docs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it takes you to
template, that landing page.
That's right.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different ways to get to the templates.
Yeah, that's what we always say in Google. There's a lot of different paths that lead you to the same spot.
For sure. All right, ladies, I'll let you guys take out. It looks like there aren't any more questions left.
Wonderful. Well, we hope you have a great weekend.
Yes, have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.